Hello, welcome back to the Oracle SQL tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about what is a data dictionary. Data dictionary is a read-only set of tables, which provides administrative metadata about the database. So administrative metadata about the DB. Okay, so let's discuss what are those administrative metadata, and then why do we need those things first of all, right? So in the Oracle database, we know that we are going to store table like employee, department, and let's say jobs and all those things, right? So employee table contains about information about the employees, department table contains about information about the departments, and so on. These are called business data, and these are called business tables. Okay, whereas there are another bunch of tables and views which Oracle maintains, which is called metadata table, that essentially stores information about employee table, like how many columns are there in employee table, how many constraints are on employee table, if there is any index on employee table. So those information are stored in a dictionary table, in a special table called metadata table or dictionary table. As an user, you do not create them. Those things are created by Oracle during installation time. All right, and then Oracle has only access to write those things. You cannot insert anything to the system tables. Example of system table is something called all underscore objects, right? So to those views you cannot insert as an user, and it is highly not recommended to do anything, to mess up with anything with the all underscore objects or to the system dictionary table. And Oracle manages, Oracle maintains it. However, you can query to find out information from those tables. Okay, so in the next slide we are going to discuss about whatever we talk about the dictionary tables. They comes in two forms, and then so two forms. The first form is all about tables or views that to manage the database structure, right? So to manage a database structure, we have tables and views, and these tables are highly normalized, and they are in cryptic format. As I told you, only Oracle writes and reads to this table. However, even I just give you the end user the base table, they cannot make anything out of that, because these things are very highly cryptic, and then a lot of normalization been done, so that you will spend a lot of time in joining and all those things. Okay, so therefore what Oracle does, they give a couple of views. Essentially they gives you three sets of views for each of the base table. Okay, to decode, basically they decode the cryptic base tables to some useful information, so that you can basically query to those sets of table and get the required information. All right, so as I told you, like they're come up with three different sets, and let's just discuss about the sets. So first thing comes up with underscore user. Let's say for example the base table is object. Okay, so then I will have three views. One is user underscore objects, second one is all underscore objects, third one called DBA underscore objects. Okay, so in user underscore objects I will have whatever user views that is in my schema, in that schema. Now let's take an example. Let's say this is user A and this is user B. So assume that we have only these two users, so very oversimplification, that we just only have two users, that means two schema, and let's say I have only one table here called T1 and I have another table T2. If I connected to user A and then query from user underscore objects, then the answer will be 1, because I have only one object in user A schema. All right, if user B, which has the table T2, given access to user A, that means user A can view this table in user B, then if I query as an user A all underscore objects, the answer will be 2, because it can see this table, it can see this table. So that is why whenever we say that all view, this expanded user view, what you can access. Since user A can access T1, also access T2, then therefore it will give me the answer will be 2. Let's say we have another user name is called system, and this user has a privilege called DBA, that is administrative privilege. In that case, irrespective of if you give access or not, he can see all tables, right? So therefore, if as a DB, as a system user, if I logged into the Oracle system and try to query from all underscore objects, then I'll see 1 plus 1, 2. Okay. Let's say user B created another table called T3. Okay. So then, but T3 user B didn't give any access to anyone to access it. Therefore, as an user A user, whenever I query all underscore objects, I'll still see 2, because T1 and T2 which is already given. But if as an system user, I connected to Oracle and query on all underscore objects, I will get an answer 3. The reason is, irrespective of T2 or T3 given, system user with DBA privilege can access everybody. Okay, so therefore the diagram is something like this. The user is a set and superset is all, and on top of that we have DBA. So let's clarify this thing with a sample example. Okay, so here is this thing. I'll basically connect to to a user called system user, and then I'll query this 3 table, and let's say find out what is the count star from all this table. So let's go to the SQL plus. I have already connected in system, so how do I know? I will give show user. Okay, so user says system, so therefore I am system user. So let's select count star from user underscore objects. So answer is 470. So let's write it down that user objects is the value that I get count star. The count star is 470 for user objects, and then just want to change the query a little bit so that I can get it from all objects. Okay, so it looks like 12696. It's 12696, and let's say DBA objects 13249. Okay, so it looks like system user has only 470 objects. Okay, however, system user has access to other schemas, like say for example this is your database, this is system, and this is some user, and this is another user, this is another user, this is another user, like this A, B, C, D, and so on, right? So many users are there. So this says that system user has only 470 objects, and system user has access to 12,696 objects. And then if I count from DBA objects, since system user has a DBA privilege, then it can also see other things. And the total number of objects in this database is 13,294. Okay, out of which system table has this many access, and system table owns this many number of things. Okay, so this is what is the clarification about different types of views. There were 3 sets of views: user, all, and DBA. I hope this clarified. And then the next, so basically we are discussing about types of metadata. So one data is about the database structure, that means how the database look like, what kind of tables we have, and all this thing. And another important sets of data that Oracle collects in the system table are called dynamic performance data. So what what does this dynamic performance data suggest is that I'm going to collect about information about different types of database DB stats, right? So one of the statistics is sessions. Let's say, for example, like now here I'm saying that I have this is a session, right? That means a user is connected to the database. Here is another session, and so on. So what essentially we are describing is that this number of session. Let's do a timeline. Let's say we start our database as 12 a.m. right? So this is the DB start time, and that time let's say to start with only one session is there, that is system, right? So number of session is one. Then as we go, as the time progresses, a lot of users connected and all this thing. Let's say at 1 a.m. we have 100 active connections are connected, active users are connected to the database. So therefore, to a dynamic performance table, if I query, and the dynamic performance table is something called V dollar session. Okay. So if I query to this V dollar session table, then I'm going to get 100 at 1 a.m. Maybe at 2 a.m. there will be another 100 users connected. 200 again at 12 p.m. maybe all these users are disconnected. So that means the V dollar session table will vary. The content of V dollar session will vary depending on the time. Okay, and that is why it is called dynamic performance table. And what Oracle does, Oracle keeps track of a lot of important database statistics on V dollars on this dynamic performance table. And this all start with V dollar, and then it basically it changes over time. Okay, let's do a problem. Like let's just basically I asked you, if the problem is like this. It asks you to find out what are the number of active sessions right now. Okay, so as I told you, that is a table called V dollar session. So let's try to see like what is there in V dollar session. So I describe V dollar session. Okay, I think I made a mistake. V dollar session. Okay, so looks like these are the this is a table, and then one thing is SID, and another thing is called username. So and a serial name, serial number, and all this thing. Okay, so basically, like if I want to choose this thing, select SID, comma, and then I think serial number, comma. Let's say try to query about username from $. Okay, so it looks like at this point there are 16 sessions are created. Okay, so out of which there are couple of sessions, it doesn't have any username. Those are the default sessions that Oracle creates at the time of database startup. Okay, so you don't have to worry about this thing. These 14 processes, 14 sessions are created at the time of the DB start. However, there are two users which is connected after Oracle started. One is Scott, another is system, and this is my session, which is system. That is what is showing up as this, and then I have another session here in my database, which is so let's basically create Scott. Okay, so this is a second database. If I say so, second session, if I do show user, it becomes Scott, right? So basically the question asked to you, like let's say this Scott user somebody created and he's gone after that, like he's no more disconnecting and all this thing, and then we asked you to kill those sessions. Okay, so how do you kill those sessions? So in that case you need to go to the V dollar session table and query what are the which user you need to kill. So in this case, the user that you need to kill is serial ID 256. Sorry, the SID is 256 and serial number is 17. So therefore, you give a command called alter system. So obviously, let me just take that command from my notebook because I have written that one. Okay, so the command is something like this: alter system kill session, alter system kill session, and then you give SID, that is 256, comma serial number, that is 17, and then you give something called immediate. Okay, so basically what the effect of this thing is that we are killing that session right now. Okay, the system is altered. Then if you go and then do something, select one from dual, I think it should give some error. Okay, because it says that end of file communication channel. So this means the session is no more available. And then if I select from my table, so it's still it basically still the VDRA session is not updated. Maybe after some time you go on and check, it should, this entity should not be there. So let me try again. Okay, still there. So basically, it's the cleaning up is going on right now. So it has already killed the sessions right now, but still Oracle has not yet notified to the $V session table that this thing is gone. Okay, so it's now, if I select again, so I have only 15 rows. So it looks like whatever you are seeing, this 256 17 Scott is gone. Okay, so here is an example when this $V session table, the values keeps dynamically changing. Okay, and then so we showed you here two examples, and so basically we showed you two examples here. One is tables like all underscore objects, the value will always remain constant. Whenever I create something, it will change. Okay, one rows get added. Okay, similarly, like if you want to go to all underscore tables to give you information about what kind of tables we have. All underscore indexes is going to give you the index available in those in the database, and all underscore sequence is going to give you the sequences available in the database and so on. Whereas $V session is going to give you dynamic information about what is going on in the database right now. So essentially this is all about data dictionary, and data dictionary is a very important from Oracle's working point of view, and we always, you don't have to mess up with anything, like you don't try to insert a row to all underscore table. In no case you should do that. Okay, if you do, then it's going to, you are having a risk in getting this database malfunction. Thank you very much. In the next slide we are going to see something else.